Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. We're going to be talking about the market update. We continue to see a pullback in the market, some profit taking. A lot of people predicting, Wall Street especially, that this is a year-end profit taking. And maybe the Santa rally that everybody is hoping for might not come to reality. We're going to be talking about some important stocks that are experiencing a pullback right now, what we're seeing in the broader market, and we got New Year's Eve leading into New Year's Day, which is going to be another short trading week. I'll be excited until we can finally get back to a full trading week the week after, where things kind of gain some normalcy and we can start to get a gauge of how 2025 is going to play out. But looking at Palantir, what we've seen is actually more resiliency than what I've expected. We're going to be talking about those reasons and why Palantir is doing a really good job holding at these incredibly high prices, even though we're starting to see a pullback in the market. Now, will this continue? Some big bulls out there in the market, like Tom Lee, usually has bullish statements, says that this could be setting up for a great rebound in January. So if you're a new or returning viewer, hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos. We're growing fast, and I can't thank you guys enough. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, Palantir Technologies comes down about 2%, 3%, including the after hours, sitting right now at about $76. And that's where we saw a pullback in the market, especially at the market open. We saw Palantir come down here to the 76, and then all of a sudden, a great rebound that kind of occurred, pushing Palantir back up to about 78. We're seeing a lot of buying the dip that is happening, not only in the broader market, but specifically for Palantir too. You can see the broader market comes down about 1% here, S&P 1%, NASDAQ 1.20%. One big thing that we need to understand, especially if we do start to see a little bit of a pullback in the market, is how well the S&P 500 has done this year. It's done incredibly well. It's at these kind of historical gains. And how does Palantir do? Well, Palantir is the 2024's S&P 500 king. So a little bit of a pullback is nothing, I think, to be worried about. I think it will come with due time, just due to its valuation. Things will settle out, and for the premium right now for Palantir, a little bit of some support building, consolidation, finding a level that is not as high as a price as it's sitting right now could be really good. Because one thing that was not changing for Palantir is the fundamentals of the business. And that's really what I'm looking at when I'm looking at these different types of stocks. Not just the price action, not just the hype that's occurring behind it, but what are the actual fundamentals of the business? How are things working out in terms of earnings reports? What are they looking at in terms of their guidance, prospects? How are they doing right now as we speak? Those are more critical to me than actually what's happening in terms of year-to-date performance. That should be reflective of the fundamentals of the business. That's a great example is Palantir right there. Top 2024 performers, S&P 500. Palantir is up 300 and nearly 50%, 349.5% year-to-date, doing basically double than what NVIDIA has done. And that's why I think a little bit of a pullback here for Palantir. Having these triple-digit gains would not necessarily be a bad thing at all. Revenue growth, we know, has been accelerating for 5 straight quarters to 30% in quarter 3. And one thing that's going to keep me very bullish on Palantir, regardless if we continue to see a little bit of a pullback, is the fact that we do now have its involvement and the reconstitution of the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. What this sets Palantir up to be is a lot of money that is flowing into the stock. And the long answer right here is talking about its price action. We're seeing all these different investment funds that need to allocate basically certain percentages of their investable assets to this stock. And this is why, regardless of what's going to be happening in terms of the short term, I expect Palantir to do well in the long run. It's made incredible milestones and large achievements. In reality, this NASDAQ 100 right here is going to be a big cycle that will feed on into itself. Even if we have a correction in the market, a pullback in the market, there's still going to be a lot of passive buying pressure into Palantir Technologies. And that's one big thing that'll keep you bullish on the future for this company, is that there's going to be a lot of buying the dip and especially dollar cost averaging that will be occurring. Big things that'll be happening. Not a ton of news on the individual stock today, but February 5th is the anticipation for the next earnings date for Palantir. Earnings per share, the estimates are sitting at about 11 cents right now, and revenue at 776 million. That's what's correlated. Earnings per share revisions, we have 12 in the last 90 days in the bullish direction, and 0 in the bullish direction, 0 in the bearish. Stocks across the board are continuing to close. Like I said, we see the S&P 500, NASDAQ closing a little over 1% right here. And we're seeing on Friday erasing most of the gains posted during this earlier holiday shortened week. Large cap technology stocks really took a dive, and one of the big things that brought the broader market down was led by a 3.3% decline in Tesla, which has now fallen sharply in 3 straight trading sessions. One thing about Tesla is we've seen a lot of buying pressure that has came into it recently. It popped up here to 488. You can see now pulling back here, cooling off a little bit at 417. We'll see if there's any grounding that is found here or if this continues on into the new year. Now, one of the big anticipations is going to be the quarterly deliveries report that's due on Thursday. Now, looking at that at the quarter 4 deliveries preview, what we expect right here to announce our numbers on January 2nd, right at the start of the new year, is that the bank's analyst right here is forecasting about 510,000 units for deliverables, and this is reflecting a 5% year over year and a 10% quarter over quarter increase. Now, this is slightly below the consensus of 512,000 from Visible Alpha, but basically in lines with a lot of investors' expectations, with the range of about 500,000 to about slightly over. Kind of the narrative right here, they don't believe the delivery results will be as meaningful as in the past, just because Tesla has really taken a large investment of its resources and its technological kind of advantages into the AI sector, trying to get ahead into the AI arms race and trying to be a leading competitor within the AI industry. That's what a lot of people and companies are spending a ton of money on right now. So not surprising to see here that maybe this number in terms of deliveries, it's not going to be as meaningful because a lot of people are looking for AI related news, and Tesla is working just on that type of niche. What we've seen with Robotaxi, with its recent announcements, with the robots that they're creating. So talking about here, Tesla, this could possibly, if we see a continuation of a pullback here and possibly a rebound into January, could be a good buy the dip type of situation. Going back into the general market right here, you see Apple, which is actually on the verge of becoming the first company to ever have a market value of 1.4 trillion right here, slipping 1.3%. And in addition, you're seeing here kind of the other Magnificent Seven stocks that are losing just a little bit of grounding right here. Another big stock that did take a dive was MicroStrategy, one of the largest holders of Bitcoin here, actually plunged about 8.2% after they announced another purchase of the digital currency. Bitcoin, we saw, had actually a dip down to about 92,000 from last week's high of basically over 100,000, and we see a dip after they announced that large purchase. One of the big things that is remaining resilient within the economy is the yield in the 10-year treasuries, which I think is correlating here to market expectations about where interest rates are headed. We see those 10-year treasuries sitting at about 4.5%. And remember, with the whole conversation regarding interest rates, expecting less cuts than that were originally anticipated into 2025. So with trading heading choppy right here, heading into a year-end record, 2024 has been very well for the S&P 500, up about 24%. And like I said, on track to be the best year since 2021. Some worries talking about losing momentum, year-end profit taking. Like we said, some people are seeing that they're even anticipating possibly a pause next year. We don't know what will happen. Personally, I think we're going to continue to see some bullishness into next year just due to the excitement, trendiness of a new change in administration, how it's going to play out. We're still expecting even a less interest rate cuts, still expecting some. So really depending on how inflation is going to stick around in terms of its stickiness and how it's going to play out. Palantir, A lot of people are waiting for a dip. We'll see if that does happen, along with some of these other stocks here that are trading at very high prices, or we'll see if this just continues to ride. What are your opinions down in the comments? Peace out, take care, and I'll catch you guys later.